Let's talk about data. Almost every business today is practically swimming in it. But for most, it's just a cost center, something you've got to store, got to secure. Very few know how to actually turn all that data into a real, tangible asset. So, how do you do it? Let's dive in. And that quote right there, it just nails it. This is the core problem so many companies are facing. They're collecting mountains of information, but it just sits there, an underutilized asset on the balance sheet. It's like a potential gold mine that, for most businesses, is still completely buried. So, how do you unlock that value, right? How do you go from just having a bunch of data to actually using it to drive productivity, to boost sales, and to make fundamentally better decisions? Well, that's exactly what we're going to break down. Okay, first things first, let's just get a sense of the landscape here. The potential is absolutely massive, but it's often locked away behind a few key and honestly very common challenges. It's that classic data-rich, insight-poor problem. I mean, you might have terabytes of customer information, but if it doesn't lead to some kind of measurable impact, it's really just digital clutter. The goal isn't to have more data, it's to make the data you already have work for you. So the first and, I'd argue, the most critical step has nothing to do with buying fancy new technology. Nope, it's about people and process. It's all about creating total alignment across your entire organization. And this gets to a surprisingly common roadblock. Just think about it for a second. If your sales team defines a lead one way and your marketing team defines it a completely different way, what happens? Your entire data foundation is basically built on sand. Every insight you get from it becomes unreliable at best and dangerously misleading at worst. The solution here is something called data governance. Now, I know that sounds super technical and kind of boring, but it's really just about creating a common language. It's about getting everyone in a room to agree on the fundamentals. What are our key terms? How are we going to measure success? And what are we all trying to achieve together? Ultimately, you're at a fork in the road. One path, the path of ambiguity, leads to inconsistent insights and a whole lot of wasted effort. But the other path, the path of alignment, that's where you build a solid foundation. That's where every project that follows has real clarity and a true purpose. Okay, so once everyone is speaking the same language, the next step is to bring all your scattered data together into a single cohesive view. For most companies, data is just everywhere. You've got customer info in your CRM, service records over here, marketing campaign data in a totally separate database. Each one of these systems holds a valuable but totally incomplete fragment of the truth. Integration is the process of piecing all those fragments together. When you connect these siloed systems, you finally stop seeing just a tiny part of the picture. You start seeing the whole thing, a complete 360-degree view of your customer. And don't make any mistake about it. This isn't just some back-end technical project. It's a strategic shift. It forces your teams to stop seeing customers as just isolated transactions and start understanding them as long-term relationships. All right, now we get to the really exciting part. With your data all aligned and integrated, you can finally turn all that raw information into actionable guidance. This flow is where the magic really happens, where data becomes truly valuable. You start with the raw consolidated data. Then, predictive analytics get to work, finding all the hidden patterns. And the output? Powerful, actionable guidance that tells your team exactly what to do next. And we're not talking about vague advice here. The system can surface patterns that are basically invisible to the human eye. It can tell a salesperson, hey, this specific deal has an 80% chance to close if you take this next action. Or it can flag, whoa, this key account is showing churn signals and it needs your immediate attention. This is where the real transformation happens. It's not just about saving time. It's about fundamentally shaping behavior. Your teams start prioritizing their efforts with so much more confidence, engaging customers with precision, and shifting from being reactive to, finally, being proactive. So when you put all these pieces together, the alignment, the integration, and the analytics, what's the ultimate payoff? What is the true value you've actually unlocked here? It's the power of compounding accuracy. See, when your sales forecasts get better, every single related decision gets better too. You allocate resources smarter, your strategic planning gets sharper. Better data leads to better decisions, which in turn generates even better data. It's this powerful positive feedback loop. This creates a huge shift in leadership. You move from management by gut instinct to management with confidence. Strategy is no longer based on speculation, it's grounded in hard evidence. And that's where the financial impact becomes absolutely undeniable. And this brings us to maybe the most important point of all. When people hear monetize data, they almost always think it means selling it to someone else. That's not it. The true meaning is converting your data into an internal capability that makes your people and your processes smarter. And this principle applies literally everywhere. A retailer uses purchase history to create personalized offers. A bank analyzes transaction patterns to stop fraud before it even happens. A manufacturer uses sensor data from its machines to optimize its entire supply chain. In every industry, the goal is exactly the same. Use data to become better at what you already do. So, if you remember nothing else from this, let it be this 4-step process. First, align your teams on common definitions. Second, integrate your systems for a complete view. Third, analyze the data to find those actionable insights. And most importantly, empower your people to act on those insights. Ultimately, it really all comes down to this. Data that's just sitting unused in a database is a cost. It's a storage fee. But data that is aligned, integrated, and analyzed with a clear purpose, that becomes one of the most powerful competitive advantages a company can possibly have. So the final question is really for you. Your data is telling a story. Right now, it's revealing where your next big opportunity is, how to better serve your customers, and where your biggest risks are hiding. The only question left is, are you ready to listen?